So, today we are going to discuss about systematic review. What is a systematic review and how it is conducted? But before proceeding towards the main topic, I would like you to revise on the types of studies. Usually, the studies are categorized into two basic types, primary studies and secondary studies. But what is the major difference between them? The difference lies within the process of data collection. Primary studies are the ones which collect data directly from the participants or the organization, either through a structured interview or questionnaire. But secondary studies are the ones which are based upon the primary studies for their process of data collection. So, according to this categorization, our systematic review falls under the category of secondary studies because it will be dependent upon the primary studies for the process of data collection. As we are conducting a systematic review, we will also be dependent upon the primary literature. But what studies we will include and how do we select them, I will discuss it later on in the under the methodology section. So, coming towards the present topic of systematic review, as its name indicates, it is a structured process which systematically extracts the information from the selected literature. Here, the selected literature is referred to as the literature we will select according to our topic of interest. Okay, so it follows a structured approach having a series of steps including the defining of the topic followed by comprehensive search in databases and extraction of data. It helps to synthesize all the existing research on the topic according to the predefined methodology with the aim to identify, evaluate, and summarize all the relevant studies. Now we will move towards how it is conducted. The conduction of systematic review starts with the defining of research question according to PICO criteria. Now, what is a research question? Research question is basically a research inquiry we will do to identify or evaluate the efficacy of either specific intervention on a specific population. It will be done according to PICO criteria. Now, what is PICO? PICO is basically a research framework we use most specifically in the experimental studies. Here, PICO stands for P for either participants or patients, I for intervention, C for comparison, and O for outcome. PICO is basically selected to identify the specific research question for carrying out a research methodology in a particular research topic. So, we will define the PICO criteria on the basis of the and then we will formulate a methodology. The methodology will be defined with respect to the eligibility criteria. On the basis of this predefined methodology, then we will carry out a comprehensive research on databases. Okay, and now what is a database? A database is basically a search engine which we use for carrying out a specific research on any topic related to any field. Databases vary, but what database we select for our systematic review, it will also be discussed later on in the methodology section. So, once all the studies are being searched on databases, they are screened with respect to the predefined eligibility for determining the number of studies we are having so that we will determine a number which we will include in our systematic review. Okay, so after the selection of the targeted number of studies, all the data will be extracted from the studies through a structured process. For systematic reviews, we have a structured like we can say we have structured tool known as a Cochrane data extraction tool, which helps to systematically extract all the relevant information from the studies. In doing so, all the studies will also be assessed with respect to their methodological quality, and it is very important. Why it's important, it will also be discussed later on. So, all the studies will be assessed with respect to its methodological quality through a valid and reliable tool. And that tool could either be a CAS tool, Pedro tool, or Cochrane tool. It will depend totally upon the situation we are carrying out a study. Okay, so after completion of all the above steps, all the data will be synthesized and findings will be interpreted and reported to generate definitive conclusion for the systematic review. Okay, so This was a general explanation for the conduction of systematic review. Now we will going to apply each step of the systematic review one by one in a structured approach to carry out a systematic review according to a specific topic.